What's going on, everybody? You're listening to episode 17 of Trash Tier Radio. I'm your host, Tyler, joined today by the young Mark Madden Jr., a.k.a. Lucas.
Hello, friends.
And the IUP alum, Shrek.
Yeah, don't affiliate me with IUP.
Hey, man, you're an alum, okay?
Can that officially be my name from now on?
What?
The Mark Madden
Double M Jr.
Oh, it switches between that and Fragmaster. Chance is the one that I normally try to change around. But it varies.
Keep it Mark Madden. We'll be good.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, make sure you check us out. Follow us at Twitter, at Trash Tier Sports, for some of the hottest takes from Shaboy Shrek over here.
Yeah, I'm throwing them takes out every night. Air night.
And make sure, if you're listening to this on YouTube, you subscribe and like the video. Comment below, tell us what you're thinking. And make sure you listen to us on Google Play and Spotify.
And starting next year, we're going to try to have some new content coming out. We got new segments. We're going to try to get on different social media platforms.
We're going to have a chart measuring our dick sizes.
It's going to be
put
pretty
that
hype.
out there for the public.
Yeah, we're actually going to have a scientific experiment determining different things. So, but yeah, just we're thinking about doing some big things coming up here in 2019. So,
Huge.
Luke's is actually going to get a PC. So, you know, that's all that matters.
Bring it up. I won't be able to concentrate.
But we're also going to introduce a new segment for today, and it's called Quickfire. And in Quickfire, I'm just going to give a little bit of a 1 or 2 line question or, comment, and Lucas and Chance are going to react to it, and then we're going to kind of get into some more deeper stories. So, are you gentlemen ready?
Yes.
I'm as ready, Eddie, Freddy.
All right. On Sunday, tight end for the San Francisco 49ers, Kittle, had 210 yards in the first half on 7 receptions. That is 4 yards short of Shannon Sharp's record for the most for a tight end in one game. In the second half, he received 0 catches. How pissed would you be if you were him? Chance, start us off.
Well, for starters, there was a little bit of collusion going on in my fantasy football league. Some dickhead that always cheats tried trading for Kittle the week before this happened, and I made sure to veto that shit. And I'm glad because he had fucking like 60 fantasy points in one half. But you gotta look at who was throwing good old Kittle the ball there. My man Mullins slinging the rock. But if I was him, I would be pretty pissed. I mean, had a crazy good half, and then you're just basically cold as shit the second half. So
Lucas, how pissed would you be?
So first off, that wasn't very quick. If we're trying to do quick flash.
Sorry.
We're still rookies, so
it's all right. We're still warming it up.
You have an amazing half. You gotta be proud of that, no matter what happens in the second half. I'm sure you wish you had more, but you can't be too mad.
I would be pissed if I were him. Next quick fire. All right, so between the Colts, Ravens, Steelers, Dolphins, and Titans are all sitting at 7-6. Well, technically Steelers are 7-5-1, but 7-6. Which one of these teams is going to be the 6th seed wild card?
So the Ravens are going to win the AFC North. The Steelers aren't going to make the playoffs. The Colts are going to slide into that 6th seed or 6th playoff spot because they are the GOATs.
Lucas?
Steelers are going to win the North, but the Ravens are going to be the wild card. And that's it.
Perfect. All right. Lucas, this is actually more direct to you, but Chance, feel free. Are the Penguins back to their true form?
The Penguins are officially a wagon. Matt Murray's back from injury, so hopefully he'll get a hot start. But they're 5-2-2, 6-2-2, or in the last 10 games. So they're on a little bit of a heater.
Chance, Penn's back?
Yeah, I'm going to have to wait and see what Matt Murray does. I like Casey Smith, but I don't think that he can sustain the play he's been playing or the level of play he's had these past couple games, and it all falls back on Matt Murray. He has to prove that he's a 2-time Stanley Cup winning goalie.
I agree.
All right. The Dallas Cowboys made a trade for Amari Cooper, sending a first-round pick to Raiders. Since acquiring Amari Cooper, they are 5-1. Chance, who looks better in this trade, Raiders or Dallas?
I have to wait the long haul. Right now, Amari Cooper's balling, but I think that has a lot to do with defenses stacking the box against Ezekiel Elliott. I think the Raiders, it depends on who they draft with the pick, but right now the Cowboys look pretty good.
Lucas?
If you get a good first-round pick, that pick is relevant for years. Amari Cooper doesn't have years left, and I think he's having...
He's like 26, 24.
Yeah, but compared to a first-round
Oh yeah,
rookie
no,
who's
I'm
like,
just saying, but it's not like he's an old guy.
no,
That's all.
I'm just saying. And I think he's having a lucky year because, like Chance said, it's all situational. I don't think he's going to sustain it with Dak. But right now, the Cowboys, but I think Oakland, a first-round pick's more valuable.
Okay. Last question. This is a video game one. PUBG is better than Blackout. True or false?
True.
I think they're both even. They both have good things and bad things, and I don't really like playing either of them.
True or false, Chance? That's all I need. Is it true or false?
False.
That's all I needed. See, look, and that was quick fire. We'll get it better. Chance kind of started us off a little long there, but I tell you what, he shortened it up there. That's all that matters.
I did.
So now we're going to go back into Week 15. Let's talk Steelers at Oakland. The Steelers lost to Oakland 21-24. You can say a lot about this game. Ben got injured right before the end of the half. Josh Dobbs came in. He then was out on the sidelines for a while, not coming in. Tomlin then said that he was riding the
Flow and momentum.
Ben said that it took so long because the Oakland Raiders have old equipment.
X-ray machines.
Old X-ray machine.
They lost the game because of the X-ray machine.
Well, they didn't bring up the X-ray machines until
the radio.
yesterday.
Yeah, the radio thing.
So, like, Sunday post game, it was nothing about the X-ray, and now all of a sudden, we can't understand these X-rays. So I think they're just trying to cover their ass.
First off, I would just like to point out that I predicted this catastrophic failure. I knew the Steelers were going to lose because every year they lose to inferior teams.
On the road.
This is probably the most embarrassing loss I've ever seen. The Raiders are literally tanking this season, like, to get the number 1 overall pick. They flat out admitted they're tanking, and they still somehow beat the Steelers.
And it sucks because Ben was having a really rough last few games. He did great last game. He went 25 for 29, 282 yards, and 2 touchdowns. If he would have played the entire game, I think the game would have been a lock. If he didn't get injured, and even though he came back, he was probably not 100%. Like, if he would have played the full game, he was balling. But
now, did he not almost throw like 2 picks still in the end zone-ish range?
That one was a touchdown, so it doesn't matter.
Well, they were both touchdowns. I'm just saying that the one to Juju, we all thought just got picked, and the one the safety pretty much had it in his hands and just kind of fell out in the end zone.
I mean, he got lucky, but it's just how it is. And
I mean, I will admit, if Ben was playing that whole game, you could tell there was such a difference between future Hall of Famer Ben Roethlisberger and lifetime backup Josh Dobbs. I mean, but you can even tell receivers were making better catches and stuff like that. And it was just,
he was only in for longer than he should have, like, no doubt. But he wasn't in that long. I don't think it's Josh Dobbs' fault why we lost. We lost because of the defense. And
we lost because of Mike Tomlin.
I'm talking about, like, players, like, player-wise, it was the defense. And the copious amounts of coaching decision errors that happened during this game.
The Oakland Raiders have the worst rushing defense in the NFL, and the Steelers didn't even have 40 yards rushing in this game. It's literally pathetic.
But they weren't with it. They didn't have James Conner, and obviously,
it doesn't matter.
The
like,
worst,
you're not even trying.
There are literal, like, people that shouldn't be in the NFL starting on the Raiders defense right now. And the Raiders defense looked 1,000 times better than the Steelers defense.
I'm not arguing that.
The Steelers defense is full of first-round picks.
Listen, I just don't want this to be a thing where we all just pile on. So I'm going to try to play a little bit of devil's advocate. That's all.
I'm all for, like, hearing reasons why the coaches aren't the worst. But it's so hard to even make any arguments right now.
Well, so now do we want to transfer into it? I do want to mention how Boswell pretty much.
Oh, that's another. And this is what I'm more sympathetic towards. How you were saying about the coaches, like, he is the worst kicker in the league, literally, because he is the worst statistically in the league right now. Like, the one he missed to force overtime, he slipped. The field is garbage. The Coliseum is probably the dumpiest stadium in the entire league, so that has to play into effect. He was in the middle of the field. Hold on, I'm just trying to get my.
Let him talk.
I'm just trying to get my defenses out. He was in the middle of the field. That field is shit. He slipped. However, you are a pro NFL kicker. You've seen your players flying all over that grass all game. Switzer fell like 5 times in the first 5 minutes. You need to account for that. You have to prepare for something like that to happen. And it shouldn't happen if you're a pro kicker.
Let's look back a little bit earlier in the game where he misses a field goal from the same distance, wide right by about 10 yards, and he
At least
banks
10 yards.
he banks an extra point off the fucking upright,
Yeah,
and it goes in somehow, or maybe it didn't go in. I can't remember.
it did go in.
So it went in. He
Oh, yeah, that one, like, chipped right
I had no confidence in him making that game-winning field goal. I literally
I
had
at least wanted him to get it off the ground.
I had more confidence in Juju Smith-Schuster scoring a touchdown on the hook and ladder play than I did on Boswell.
And that's
That was a sick
That's like
play.
one more thing. Like, how do you have 20 seconds left to tie this game, and you probably have time for 2 plays, 1 play and the kick for the field goal, and you execute this perfect like flip to Juju off of the catch from Antonio Brown, and he runs almost the entire way up the field. Perfect play. Like you can't have that any better.
Well,
and then you blow it.
The other problem they had was that, now this is a coaching decision on this one. The drive prior, the Raiders are at the goal line, and time is just ticking off the clock. Your defense, I don't know why in the world you would think your defense is going to hold them at like 5 yards to a touchdown. So instead of taking one of your timeouts, because you have 2 left, instead of taking a timeout and trying to make them score at that point, you don't. You just botch it.
My favorite play of the game was that 4th and goal at the end of the game. Before the Raiders scored, Bud Dupree was trying to pump up the crowd, walking around the field, waving his arms to get the crowd going.
Which did look mostly Steeler fans.
And he gave up the touchdown to a tight end who, up until last week, had not caught a touchdown pass in 4 years. Literally, like the funniest thing of the whole game, because he's literally, they zoom in on him pumping up the crowd, and he gives up the game-winning touchdown. Like, it's hilarious.
See, I thought whenever Boswell slipped and it just kind of like that was the funniest thing because that was one of those backwards angles. So you just kind of saw him just like fall.
Dude, it was literally, I can't even put the blame on Boswell because he should have been cut 3 weeks ago.
Well, you can't cut him because you gave him that contract. I mean, they're going to cut him,
It's
but
on
you can't
it's
cut
on
him.
the coach. Boswell has a worse field goal percentage right now than Josh Scobie did a few years ago when Boswell replaced him. So it's literally laughable.
That's why you can't give kickers big contracts.
Hey, maybe
Unless you're Adam Vinatieri.
Maybe the kicker shouldn't be sending dick pics to all those girls around Pitt.
And so about that last second drive where we didn't call timeout, Tomlin said after the game, like quoted, and we all know how Tomlin doesn't make sense. He just bullshits his way. He said, "We wanted to win the sequence," and that's all he said.
Listen,
how does that make any sense?
It doesn't.
He's talking on his ass.
Nothing Tomlin says makes any
Like it's
sense.
a joke. How can you be a professional and you say something like that has nothing to do with what we're talking about?
Well, let's transfer this, I guess, into Mike Tomlin being on a hot seat is now a bit of a national debate. Kind of some hot news.
Because of racist Pittsburgh reporters.
Local legend Mark Madden,
super genius,
has been getting a lot of heat from Fox and ESPN. So Chance, why don't you, since you're the resident Mike Tomlin hater, why don't you kind of give a little bit of a summation of the last game, and I'll try to also play devil's advocate as well. So
I will, but first off, I would like to point out, according to Stephen A. Smith, if you're calling for Tomlin's head, you're a racist. So apparently, I'm a racist. But
I don't know if I'd say that. I wouldn't say that one.
All right,
but,
cut that sound bit, post it, and headline.
Yeah, but I'm definitely not a racist, and it's definitely time for Tomlin to go. As I said in the last podcast, I'm not going to go into all the shit that I said last week. You can go back and listen to that. But basically, I stated that Tomlin is overrated, and he's constantly defended by the media and all of these Pittsburgh fanboys who just have blind loyalty towards whatever the Steelers do, regardless of this decision. Everyone's defending Tomlin because his 123, now 65 losses and 1 tie, regular season record, and his playoff record, which is actually pretty garbage if you think about it.
It's very garbage.
He has 8-7 record in the playoffs, and let me tell you the games he's won and lost.
I mean, you could say it's average. It's 500, a little bit above 500.
A little bit of 500.
That's 7 years you've lost.
Okay, so in
The 8 years
2008,
won.
Tomlin won the Super Bowl. Everyone knows that. In 2009, he didn't even make the playoffs. In 2011, he lost to Tim Tebow and the Broncos.
Oh, I remember that game.
Oh,
fucking
everyone
yesterday.
remembers that game because it was shit.
That's Tim Tebow's highlight right there.
In 2012 and 2013, he again misses the playoffs. In 2014, he loses to Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens. In 2015, he barely escapes Cincinnati with a playoff win, solely because Cincinnati self-destructed and lost that game themselves.
Wasn't that the one with Burfict almost
That was the
killed
game
AD?
where
Yeah.
Burfict and Pac-Man Jones basically killed Antonio Brown.
And Shazier killed their running
Yeah.
back. That was amazing.
And the only reason we won that game was because of those penalties at the end of the game. We should have lost that one.
And Boswell.
Just
facts. Just
okay.
facts.
We then go into Denver the next week, and we lose to Peyton Manning, and that team ended up going to the Super Bowl. But still, shouldn't have beat Cincinnati. That's one of his playoff wins. He's only had 3 since 2010. So that's one of
He's really
them.
only have 3 playoff wins since 2010.
I'm getting there. So in 2015, that was 2015, he barely escaped Cincinnati. So there's one win. In 2016, he makes the playoffs again. The Steelers played the Miami Dolphins at Heinz Field in the wild card round. Who's the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins that year? Matt Moore, their backup quarterback. And I'm pretty sure the Dolphins were 8-8 that season. They barely got into the playoffs.
Was that the one where we actually injured Tannehill like 3 games prior to the playoffs?
Yes,
Was that year?
and then we fucked up Matt Moore in the playoffs. Literally, Bud Dupree launched himself into Matt Moore's skull and gave him head trauma. So we beat
That's horrible.
we beat the third string Dolphins quarterback. Then we go to Kansas City and we beat Alex Smith and the Chiefs, which we kind of had Alex Smith and the Chiefs number all those years. We would go into Arrowhead and beat them because Alex Smith is an average quarterback and the Chiefs didn't have any of the weapons they really have now.
Feel better, Alex.
But then we go to the AFC Championship game and we lose to the Patriots. It's a complete self-destruct. That was after the Antonio Brown locker room situation where
The
he's
Facebook Live.
Facebook Living the locker room and Tomlin talking about how they're going to beat the Patriots' ass and blah, blah, blah. So then that brings us to last year. Steelers are the 2nd seed in the playoffs, and they're upset by Blake Bortles and the Jacksonville Jaguars at home after a first-round bye.
After the offense puts up 43.
The offense puts up 43, and Blake Bortles puts up 45.
Wow.
We gave Blake Bortles his big contract that he got landed this past offseason and basically helped screw the Jaguars, I guess.
It's a bonus for us then.
Yeah, I guess that's the only or positive take you can take from that. But so Tomlin's 3 wins since 2014 are the Bengals self-destructing, the Matt Moore-led Dolphins, and the Kansas City Chiefs with Alex Smith. He has done nothing since then, other than lose to Tim Tebow, lose to Joe Flacco, lose to Blake Bortles. Tom Brady has had his number, but we've only played the Patriots 1 time in the playoffs.
Really?
In all of Tomlin's career, yes, 1 time. In the AFC Championship game, and we lost. But they should have won, because in my opinion, that was the Steelers' best team they've had in the Tomlin era.
And you know it's wild because everyone says the Patriots kind of own the Steelers, but because normally every regular season they beat us, but in the playoffs I didn't realize it was 1 time.
Well, it's because we get knocked out by scrub
we don't
teams
get there,
before we
yeah.
even get to the Patriots.
Lucas, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about Tomlin? Don't be racist.
Yeah, Lucas, if you say anything bad about him, you're a racist, according to Stephen A. Smith.
So this is, I've said what I wanted to about Tomlin already, previous episodes. So go back and listen to that. This is more about the Stephen A. Smith rant, because if you haven't heard it, go listen to it right now. Pause this, YouTube it, you'll find it, listen to it, and come back. He said he's offended that people want Tomlin fired. Do you know why he said he's offended? It's because we are racist for wanting Tomlin fired, because the majority of people saying this are white and Tomlin is not, so that makes us racist. And Stephen A. Smith is not white, so that makes him offended because we are racist about wanting Tomlin gone. Because it's only about race. Remember that, right? Yeah, you're racist because you want him fired too.
Wow.
All right.
Don't point at Chance like that.
One of Stephen A. Smith's point about why we shouldn't fire Tomlin is because there are other bad coaches. He started naming off all of these coaches that need fired before Tomlin, as if that's relevant to the argument of firing Tomlin. How does that affect the Steelers if Cincinnati fires their coach?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. How does that make us better if Jim Harbaugh is no longer coach of Baltimore?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. I just don't understand how that makes sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
I think, in all honesty, I think his look is that.
And sorry, this came to me.
Good.
And like, you can't compare Tomlin to those teams because those teams hasn't had the offense that Tomlin has worked with.
Those teams also don't have the same standards as the Pittsburgh
They don't
Steelers.
have anything close. You think the Cincinnati Bengals have had the same chance as the Steelers of winning the Super Bowl over the past 10 years?
Definitely
No.
not.
No. And the fact that we can't do it makes Tomlin more of a target than those other coaches. That's the big thing in this, how comparing other coaches doesn't make sense. Stephen F. Smith's a fucking idiot.
I look at Tomlin the same way that I'm going to bring up hockey. Dan Bylsma was the head coach for the Pittsburgh Penguins up until a few seasons ago, and he had tremendous regular season success. The Penguins were constantly the number one team during the regular season. They would score fuckloads of goals and just beat teams out of the water. But every time they got to the playoffs, Dan Bylsma would fail, and the team just ultimately underperformed. Even though they had great regular season success, because he refused to make adjustments, and if it wasn't his way, he kept going with what he thought he was going to do. I think Tomlin's very similar to Dan Bylsma, and if you look at the Penguins, they didn't win in Stanley Cup until they got rid of Dan Bylsma. All that regular season success doesn't mean shit in the postseason. It's a totally different ball game, and I just think that Tomlin is too stubborn, and it's definitely time to make a change. I think he's on the hot seat for sure, and he should be.
But the sad thing is, sorry again, I don't think he is on the hot seat.
Oh.
No, he's
Just
not. He's not going to
because
get fired.
How
He's
the
not.
Rooneys are and how they operate. It's disgusting that you can't fire a coach just because that's how it is and that's the Steeler way. It's disgusting.
So I'll say my little piece,
All right,
and
you can go
then we'll move on. Okay. So I think Stephen A. What he was trying to get at is that if you look at other teams, in the sense that we are fortunate that the Pittsburgh Steelers is our team, our hometown local team. If you were someone like, the fucking Browns, you would be so hyped to have Tomlin's record as under you. But I also understand at the same time that obviously there are way different standards because the Browns haven't had a Hall of Fame quarterback, a Hall of Fame wide receiver, and borderline Hall of Fame running back. So I'm just saying in that sense, I think that's kind of more or less where he was getting at. I agree with you completely, though, that their situation is not the same as our situation. And the playoff record tells it all, and especially since 2010. That's the playoff record that should tell it all.
It's blind arrogance is what it is. Last year, after the Jacksonville Jaguar playoff game, the offense was incredible. The offense literally kept them in the game. They brought them back from the gates of hell and kept them in that game. And who gets fired after the game? The offensive coordinator. No defensive personnel changes at all. The offensive coordinator gets fired, even though the defense just gave up 43 points to Blake Bortles. It makes no sense. Defensive-minded coach can't coach defense, can't coach at all. That's all I'm saying.
So, and then in defense for keeping Dobbs in over Ben, is that you could look at it in that if you thought Big Ben was injured or has a possibility of being seriously injured, if you can keep Dobbs in and still win a game, and it keeps Big Ben from possibly getting injured worse, that's probably what he was thinking. In all honesty, and you can look at it that, yeah, if we could have won that game with Dobbs, it would have been fine. Like if we would have won the game with Dobbs in, as long as no one would have had a problem with it. But the fact that we lost is what screwed us over. And I understand that if we had Big Ben, we probably would have won that game 100%. And you could even tell because the second he came in, we started blowing him out. But my guess is that was that decision.
Well, CBS the night before interviewed him, and he said that at this point, every game is a playoff game for them. They're going to take it like a playoff game. The Steelers weren't prepared at all for that game.
Yeah, we even just said that Tomlin says dumb shit.
Oakland just came out and literally drove down the field on the first drive and punched it right in the Steelers' mouth. Like, that just set the tone. The Steelers, they're never prepared for inferior teams.
And then what I think the Steelers need to do is because they're not going to fire Tomlin. No matter what we say, no matter what we bitch, they will not fire Tomlin. You cannot fire Tomlin.
You can.
You can, but they're not going to. They will not. Look at 50 years, 3 coaches. We're not getting rid of Tomlin.
Times have changed, my friend.
I think they need to just fire their defensive coordinator, bring in a new defensive coordinator, and just say, like, hey, if this shit doesn't change here pretty quick, then you can.
But
'Cause-
Tomlin is 50-50 calling the defensive schemes. Like,
well, listen, maybe you need to make it 75-25 and have that fucking defensive coordinator.
I think that Tomlin this year is definitely going to be a review for Tomlin, and then next year, if the team underperforms, I say he's gone after next season.
Yeah, but then Big Ben will retire, so then
Well,
really fucked.
I think Tomlin's gone if Big Ben is gone. I think that as soon as Big Ben is done, if Tomlin's still around, he's done at that point. I think that they bring in a new coach for a new franchise quarterback, and that's what I would do personally.
Yep.
Fair enough. Well, so this week the Steelers are playing the New England Patriots, and the New England Patriots had a tough loss on the Miami Miracle. I just wanted to quickly bring up the Miami Miracle and how miraculous it was watching Rob Gronkowski try to tackle a fucking running back.
It was beautiful.
In the open field. Oh, him and them 60-year-old knees trying to run after someone laterally made the day a little bit better.
He let it happen because it was a 69-yard touchdown.
I'm just saying, it was fantastic.
He likes the number 69. Man.
Oh, was it 60? Oh, that is
yeah, it
funny.
was exactly 69 yards.
So how bad does Belichick look in this?
So Belichick is the greatest coach of all time, but over the past few years, he's had some Mike Tomlin blunders, a.k.a. not starting Malcolm Butler or even playing him for that matter in last year's Super Bowl, and putting Rob Gronkowski out there for this. When I understand, the Patriots do this all the time. In Hail Mary situations, they'll put a Gronkowski or someone big back there who can just bat the ball down. But in this case, there's no way in hell that Ryan Tannehill is throwing a 70-yard Hail Mary. No one in the NFL outside of Patrick Mahomes could even throw the ball 70 fucking yards.
And plus, he also, I think, was slightly injured that game as well.
Yeah. So I don't understand why he was out there to begin with. And then I don't know why you just don't have your whole defense just line up at the goal line. Like, that they need a touchdown to win. I think this is up there for one of the stupidest decisions I've ever seen, but I don't think it's going to affect the Patriots at all.
I think they should have stood goal line and did Red Rover, Red Rover. What do you guys think about that? Linked arms and then Red Rover, Red Rover.
Sure.
Thank you, Lucas. Lucas, what's your thoughts on the Miami Miracle?
Oh, it was beautiful. I love when the Patriots lose, even though it was on a fluke play. But, I mean, seeing that kind of, like, those trick plays work, I think it's pretty awesome. Like, what are the odds that worked out?
That one trick play validates 100 other plays exactly like
sure.
that never works. That's the only good thing about this is that right there guarantees there's going to be at least another
It's so
100
fun to watch.
just like that.
You got to always try it just in
Because-
case some wacky shit happens.
It's the best whenever they don't work horribly, and it's one of those things where you can tell there's been like 3 forward passes and the players are still out there.
I
trying to
love
run
it when
around.
like a lineman has the ball and he like tries running and like his top speed is like 10 mile an hour. You know, it's just great. But I enjoyed watching that play. It was sick.
And then a last minute thing I want to bring up was the Titans. I think Jacksonville at Titans. Was that this? Colts at Titans.
Or Texans. Are you
No,
saying?
what do you?
Yeah,
for
you
the
said
last week.
Houston.
What
last
are you talking about
Last
here?
week, Derrick Henry
Oh,
balled
yeah,
out.
it was Titans versus
Titans.
Jaguars on
Okay.
Thursday night.
Yeah, Derrick Henry had a monster game.
99-yard run or 90-yard run?
Yeah, he had a 99-yard run. It tied for the longest in NFL history.
And then
It's only been
Which,
done twice.
coincidentally, 3 years ago today, he won the Heisman.
So
That's wrong.
Derrick Henry, he's underperformed to this point. I mean, the dude was a stud at Alabama, and it's basically because he's literally a fucking freak. Like, the dude is like 6'5", like 260. He's a fucking brick wall, man. If you ever look at pictures of this guy,
It's insane.
he's a literal fucking, like, he's an ogre. He's fucking huge.
I would highly recommend looking at a picture of him.
Go look up a picture of him standing beside Mark Ingram and the other Alabama running backs a few years ago because it's incredible.
He's 6'3", 238 with a 4.5 40.
The dude is a literal freak of nature. Like, I'd love to see what his parents look like because they produced one hell of a fucking athlete.
And then the other two highlights from the game was whenever during that run, whenever all the Jacksonville players tried to tackle him, and he just pretty much just like fucking shoved them off. Because some of those plays it's just wide open field. This was like he fucking threw 3
Hit
defenders.
sticks.
Yeah, this looked like a beast mode fucking run. It was literally insane.
And then-
I'm just glad I didn't play him in fantasy that week.
And then the other thing was I think it was the offensive lineman for the Tennessee Titans went up and like kind of talk shit to Jalen Ramsey and like kind of hit his helmet a little bit. And the second that happened, Jalen Ramsey flopped like a bitch right to the ground. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
Literally, he just kind of does like this, and Jalen Ramsey just goes like this and just falls on his ass. It's really funny. I highly suggest you go look it up.
Watching the demise of the Jaguars is probably my favorite storyline of the NFL this season.
Hey, maybe the Steelers will get Jalen Ramsey. Probably not. Almost guaranteed it won't happen. But
I will go.
there's a better chance of Chris Boswell getting cut.
Really?
I'm saying that as because he still isn't cut.
Yeah, that's true.
better chance Lev Bell or Jalen Ramsey on the Steelers next year.
Probably better chance that Chris Boswell's still on the team.
All right, well, let's get into Week 15 for the NFL. You boys ready?
I'm locked and loaded.
All right, we got the game of the week on Thursday night. We got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, so this game literally is going to decide the division. This is probably going to be the best game this season, in my opinion.
Could be an AFC Championship preview.
Could be an AFC Championship preview.
Wouldn't that be wild?
These are two rivals that hate each other, and Phillip Rivers and the Chargers are out to prove a point that they're not the same old Chargers of the past. But still, they have no running back right now. Melvin Gordon is traveling with the team, but they have not said if he's going to play or not, and that is a big factor for me. Last week, the Chargers barely escaped a win against the Cincinnati Bengals, who are without A.J. Green and Andy Dalton. But I think the Chargers are going to win this game. The Chiefs don't have a running game since a good old Kareem Hunt had to put his boot in some woman's mouth.
He didn't kick her in the mouth. Still shouldn't have done it. Still should not have done that, Lucas.
But
looking at you.
Yeah, but I'm going with the Chargers. I think they're going to win this game, win the division, and I think they get the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, this game is definitely interesting just for the huge playoff stipulations this is going to affect. But the Chiefs, without Pat Mahomes, they're probably not that good.
Oh, for sure.
He is playing MVP season out of his mind. I'm sure he's going to be like this in the future, but he's playing incredible. The Chiefs, their defense is not good at all.
I bet it's better than the Steelers.
Yeah, I'd probably say 31 other teams are better than the Steelers.
You're not wrong.
But they're definitely one of the most penalized teams, if not the most, behind Buffalo, I think.
Yeah, the Steelers are the third most.
Yeah, if Pat Mahomes has an off game by any small amount, the Chiefs aren't very good, and the Chargers are they're playing. I think they're playing for that fairy tale season. They're finally going to make it. Phillip Rivers, Hall of Fame, no doubt. This is going to be a really good game. I'm going to go with a tie.
A tie?
Tie.
Okay.
Kansas City went to overtime against the Ravens last week. They're doing it again.
I'm almost going to go Chargers. I think the Chiefs have kind of lost some of their momentum ever since the Kareem Hunt situation happened. So I think this is kind of one of those games where I think the Chargers know this is going to kind of make or break their shit. And I think Phillip Rivers really he doesn't want to be the only Hall of Fame quarterback out of his draft to not win a Super Bowl. So, and I think they have a fantastic team, and I think this is going to be their time to show it.
Quick point, do you guys see, what's his face? Mahomes' no-look fucking pass.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Fucking crazy.
Apparently he does that all the time in practice.
That's sick as fuck. Sidearm, cross his chest, fucking opposite side of the field, no-look pass. It's dirty.
Wild.
Dirty.
All right, next game is Houston Texans at the New York Jets.
Texans, unfortunately, broke their 9-game winning streak.
Who called that?
This guy. I wouldn't guess anybody but you.
I did call it Lucas.
You.
Look back
at
the audio.
I think I gave you the idea.
You actually did kind of. Well, no, actually Lucas did because he said, "What's the likelihood of a team winning 10 or 11 in a row?" Talking about the Saints, and I was like, that. What's the likelihood of
God damn it.
Texans winning?
Yeah, even that said, the Jets are coming off of a win against Buffalo, so I'm gonna go.
Sam Darnold's back.
Sam Darnold's back, but I'm still gonna go with the Texans for sure.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Texans. They're gonna want to rebound after that loss, and I think J.J. Watt is gonna kill Sam Darnold. So
literally.
All right. Well, next one is.
Who are you picking?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm picking Houston as well. Sorry, I forgot to mention it. Same thing you guys said.
It's just so obvious. We don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, Houston's such a better team than the Jets that I think they're gonna show it. Cleveland at Denver. I'm actually going to go Denver for this one.
So there's 2 Saturday games?
Yeah, there's 2 Saturday games.
Yeah, this is the time of year where there's Saturday games now. Because there's no more college football, so the NFL just has free reign.
That's crazy.
I love it, dude. It's best.
All right, yeah.
So I'm going to go with Denver on this one. I'm curious to see what Baker Mayfield's going to do in the cold weather of Denver. this time of year. So he looked really good. Baker did last game, but I don't know. I think Denver's gonna win this because I think they're embarrassed that they lost to who they lose to.
The 49ers. I was gonna say that
they lost to the 49ers last week, so I think they're gonna be a little bit embarrassed.
Like it's definitely embarrassing losing to that team. But if like we talked about, if Mullins and Kittle didn't have a fucking record day,
almost
they wouldn't have won.
record breaking.
You know what I mean? But the Browns, they're better than normal Browns that we always talk about, but the Broncos are still better. They're on a pretty good win streak besides that last game.
Yeah, I'm going with the Browns. I think the Broncos suck ass offensively now. They lost Emmanuel Sanders last week in practice, and I picked up Courtland Sutton on fucking fantasy thinking that he'd be the new number 1 wide receiver, and he did jack shit for me. He lost me the playoff game. Fuck him and fuck the Broncos. I'm going against them. Going against them the rest of the season, and I think the Browns coming off a big win against the Panthers. That's some fucking momentum right there.
Cleveland has a chance to make playoffs. I'm just saying. It pretty much requires the Steelers to lose out.
Probably the Colts to lose out.
The Ravens to lose 2, the Colts to lose 2. It's like 4 teams have to pretty much lose out and they get in.
I don't think they're getting in, but
Still
I think they're going to win this game.
All right, next we got Green Bay at Chicago. Chance, who you picking?
Yeah, the Bears D just shut down the red-hot Rams. It was incredible to watch. Goff looked like his rookie year with Jeff Fisher as his head coach. He did
4 interceptions.
Did not look good at all, and Todd Gurley was shut down. I think that the Bears are going to do the same thing to Aaron Rodgers. I do not think he has the talent around him to succeed, and I think the Bears are going to make him pay. I'm going with the Bears.
Lucas, who you picking, Green Bay or Bears?
I'm definitely going to Bears. The Bears are back. Trubisky didn't have a great game last week with 3 interceptions.
But he proved it didn't need to.
Yeah, exactly. The defense on that team is just mind-blowing.
Khalil Mack, bro. Who would have thought?
It's insane.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought? John Gruden.
No, I think John Gruden even thought. He was like, yeah, this is probably what would happen.
But, yeah, the fucking Packers, they're still trash.
Oh, yeah, trash.
Yeah, I'm almost going to go with Chicago in this one. I thought that last game against the Rams was good because it showed that teams don't have to be just offensive wagons to win in this league. You can also just be a defensive juggernaut and still win, which I think is still good because I think if you have just something where it's just nothing but trying to throw a deep ball, everything, I think that would kind of, I don't know, get kind of cheap after a while. So
it's like all the 3 balls in the NBA.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It gets dumb just watching people dribble down and jack up threes. So next game is Detroit at Buffalo. I'm going to go with the Bills, baby.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Bills. I think they're going to bounce back. Josh Allen, he looks good. He doesn't have any weapons around him, but he just broke Mike Vick's rushing yard record for like a 3-game span or something, which is pretty crazy. Because he's a big, lengthy dude.
Matt Stafford last game against the red-hot Cardinals threw a mind-blowing 101 yards against one of the best teams in the league.
And he's like the 3rd highest paid quarterback, remember that.
So I'm definitely going with the Buffalo Bills.
Which the Buffalo Bills
only because I'm a Bills Mafia fan.
The Bills have the number 1 ranked defense.
They also have Joey Chestnut as a fan. He was breaking tables and slugging beers and with Bills Mafia on Sunday.
Just what?
Chestnut.
There we go. Tampa Bay at Baltimore. Lucas, who's winning this one?
Baltimore. Because they're definitely in a win-or-die situation with the Steelers losing. They got to win some games to get in the playoffs. Tampa Bay's, Tampa Bay.
Jameis.
Winston's back with the interceptions. I'm definitely going to go with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens, too. They almost beat the Chiefs. Should have beat the Chiefs last week if it wasn't for Lamar Jackson's late-game fumble. The Ravens' defense is legit. Probably 2nd best in the league, in my opinion, behind the Bears. I think crab legs Winston, his fingers are going to be all buttery from them crab legs he stole.
From eating them W's.
Yeah, he tried licking them off, but he hasn't eaten any W's in a while, so they're still pretty buttery.
Just building up.
Bold prediction, Fitzmagic makes an appearance this game. Somehow, some way.
Bolder prediction. This is the game where Jameis Winston purposely blows out his knee. That way he gets guaranteed his money.
Hey, it'd be a good time right around the holidays. I'm sure he's got some bills to pay.
All right, Arizona at Atlanta.
Ooh,
Hot game to end the season here.
Yeah, Atlanta Did they beat Green Bay or
No,
did they
they
lose?
lost 20 to 30.
See, I didn't give a fuck about that game because who the fuck cares about
They
these
had a
teams?
good late game comeback, but
Oh yeah, I remember they scored some bullshit touchdown on like the last second of the game and gave the team I was playing against in the fantasy playoffs some more points. So fuck the Falcons. I'm going with who are they playing?
Arizona.
I'm going with the Cardinals, man. Fuck it.
This is twice now you've bet on the Cardinals.
Yeah, well they won last week, so why can't they win this week?
You're right, because they're
they
Super
lost
Bowl
last
contenders.
week to the Lions.
Oh, I thought you said they
17-3.
won. Oh,
I was
fuck.
being sarcastic.
Well, I think they're going to win this week in Atlanta. So this is my upset pick of the week.
All right, Lucas.
Yeah, I'm picking the Falcons. Cardinals are definitely on a tanking path, I think, by now.
Yeah.
I hope they're not going to try to win.
This is Falcons' game to lose at this point. So, Oakland at Cincinnati. The Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders
Coming off a hot win.
The Raiders can't win any more games. They gave up the number 1 pick after beating the Steelers in upset fashion last week. I think they tanked tremendously in this game. They're going to tell Derek Carr to throw as many picks as he can, and I think the Bengals are going to win.
I think they're actually going to play to win. Now that they know what it feels like to get all that attention from the fans and the media, they're gonna try to win again.
Bad things happen in Oakland when they win. They just fired their general manager.
I know, that's why they're gonna win again.
After they won.
So that means
wild.
after they win, they're going to now trade Derek Carr at next, even
That's
though.
what I'm saying.
They're also not going to have a city to play in next year.
Oh, well.
Hey, it doesn't matter. All right, yeah, I'm also going to go Cincinnati on this one. I don't trust Oakland to win because, like I said, they should be playing for that pick. Okay, Lucas, this is for you. The Tennessee Titans at the New York Football Giants.
So, like I called it last week, the fucking New York Giants are back.
I think you mean Saquon has arrived.
They scored 40 points last week, 27 of them coming in one quarter.
Do you have the box score up by any chance, Lucas?
Yeah, 40-16.
Look up Saquon's running numbers and receiving
Oh,
numbers.
I was getting there, right? Eli Manning, 197 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, Hall of Fame. Saquon Barkley, 14 carries for 170 fucking yards with 1 touchdown, 12 yards average, fucking Hall of Fame. Put him in right now. He's a rookie. Put him in.
What was his receiving? Saquon's.
Receiving, 4 catches for 27 yards.
I thought he had more for some reason.
Hot take, Odell Beckham didn't play in that game, so maybe Odell Beckham's the reason
I'm
why
sure
the
he's a
Giants suck.
problem.
He didn't play. Why didn't he play?
He was hurt.
And this doesn't have anything to do with who they were playing.
I mean, it probably.
This doesn't have anything
Who are they
to do with
playing?
that. Mark Sanchez and the Redskins.
He threw two fucking picks.
2 interceptions on 6
He
completions.
threw a 1-yard pick six.
Jesus.
So
All right.
it has nothing to do with that. The Giants are, like I said, they can make the playoffs. All right.
Are you picking the New York Football Giants, Lucas? Yes
so
or no?
Hold on. We're going to go through what it needs for the Giants.
At this point, I don't even know who the Giants are playing. I forgot
The
because
Tennessee Titans, a 7-6 playoff
all right,
kind
listen.
of team.
All right. So if this happens, the Giants make the playoffs. All right. You guys with me?
Following you.
So Dallas needed to beat Philly. Guess what happened? Dallas beat Philly. Seattle needed to beat Minnesota. Who won?
Seattle.
All right. So now Carolina has to lose 2 of the next 3, which they're garbage. They've lost, like 6 in a row, and they faced New Orleans twice. So they're losing both of those games. Philadelphia has to lose 2 of the 3. How many wins have Philadelphia won? Not very many. They're bad. So they need to lose 2 of these games against the Rams, Houston, and Washington. 2 of the best teams in the league. They need to lose 2. All right. Minnesota needs to lose 2 of their next 3. How's Minnesota doing lately, Chance?
they're pretty cold.
Not good.
It's cold
and they
in
face
Minnesota.
Miami, Detroit, and Chicago. They're going to lose to Chicago. This is the only one that worries me because then they have to also lose Miami and Detroit. With the way they're playing, who knows? Could happen. Green Bay only has to lose 1 of these games against Chicago, Jets, and Detroit. They're going to lose this week to Chicago, so that's it. And New York Giants have to win out. So
what Lucas is
gonna
saying,
happen.
everyone go to your local casino and put all your money on the Giants.
Put it on the
making
Giants.
playoffs.
They have to have an insane bet number out right now for their chances. All I'm saying is there's a chance. Those are just facts.
Speaking of a chance, who are you picking?
Yeah, so since Saquon is the new head coach of the Giants, I'm going with the Giants. I literally think Saquon, he's as I predicted,
Legendary.
he's the fucking GOAT.
Yeah, I'm only picking the Giants because of Saquon. He had such a monster game last time. I want to see him
Literal
follow it up.
fucking GOAT.
Is that because you went to college with him and you guys were classmates
Yeah, pretty much.
and buddies?
I did all of his homework.
You're going to get him on the pod?
I'll tweet at him. I'll say, hey, from one Penn State alum to another,
That
come
might
on
work.
the pod. Come on the pod sometime. We'll talk about
Say
Mike
we're huge
Tomlin.
Giants fans.
Just lie and say like you're still a student and you need this for like your final or something.
You're right.
Maybe he'll spare you.
He probably would. He seems like a really good, nice
Oh
guy.
yeah, he seems like a great guy.
All right. So speaking of the Minneapolis Vikings,
Minneapolis.
Minnesota. Damn it, Minnesota.
The San Diego Vikings.
It could happen. It could happen.
It could.
Miami at Minnesota.
Yeah. So, Kirk Cousins. Let's talk
Hey,
about him
Kirk
a little.
Cousins.
So, Kirk Cousins had a horrible game last night or night before, whatever fucking night that was, against the good old Seahawks and Russ. I think the Vikings are in do or die right now. They just fired their OC, who I don't even know why they hired him, to be honest with you, but I don't know. I think Kirk Cousins, he's going to have a decent bounce-back game. He has to. There's so much pressure on him now, and I think the head coach is kind of on the hot seat. The team's regressed tremendously since going to the NFC Championship game last year. Sounds familiar, Steelers. But, no, I think the Vikings win this game.
Dolphins are 7-6.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just about the same record as the Steelers.
And the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens and the Indianapolis Colts.
I mean, you can't count them out yet. But the Vikings, I think they're still a better team somehow, just like down to their bones, and they're just playing bad this year. I think Vikings going to win.
Yeah,
Dolphins don't like cold weather.
got to pick the home team in that cold weather. And
They're in a
Even
dome.
though it's in a dome, yeah.
fuck you, Lucas, because guess where the Vikings play?
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. So fuck you. Eat shit.
I'm picking
I
them because
knew-
they have the nicer
You
stadium.
looked it up.
I looked it up.
I knew that's
I looked
what
it
you
up,
meant. That's why it was
motherfucker.
funny.
All right, Washington at Jacksonville.
Man, oh man.
Who has the worst quarterback? That's the real question.
Ooh,
Washington.
fuck. I don't know. Sanchez was not very good.
Cody Kessler he threw 240 yards last week.
Dude, he was a number one.
He
Not-
did.
not bad.
He wasn't the reason why the Jaguars lost. It was the run defense. But,
Derrick Henry had 238 yards.
dude, he had four fucking touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Dude, it's literally crazy.
Oh my god.
I've never seen anything like it. The dude literally just came out of nowhere. He's not even the fucking starting running back. I don't know. I gotta go with the Jaguars, maybe. No, this game's gonna be a tie. It's gonna be a fucking
Gonna
tie.
tie. All right.
I'm going with a tie.
I'm going Jacksonville for this one. I don't think Washington can. Whenever you have like 6 quarterbacks break their legs and you have Mark Sanchez as your quarterback, you're not winning.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Jags.
Ever
No,
since the Redskins had that Native American rally for like Native Americans, they've lost every game and both their quarterbacks have
They
broken.
didn't do
It's
that.
a
I
sign.
swear to
It's a
God, bro.
sign.
I swear to God, they're trying to
That's what you get for
prevent
being racist.
they're trying to prevent the Indians from calling them racist. So I guess the Native Americans from calling them racist. So they had like a rally for them, and ever since then they haven't won a game.
All right, this next game,
Indian burial grounds put some bad juju on the Redskins.
Dallas Cowboys at Indianapolis Colts. Both playoff teams, kind of. Well, Indianapolis is in the hunt. Dallas pretty much all but secured their division. Chance, who we picking?
Yeah, so since we're on the Trail of Tears talk,
Jesus.
I think that the Colts are going to win this game solely because they have a home field advantage. I'm going to take a page out of your book, but I like Andrew Luck. He's balling, and the Colts are literally fighting for a playoff spot right now. They're going to win out. They're going to get that spot. No tears shed in Indianapolis this week.
So I'm also going to pick the Colts, but mine's basically based off of A, I want the Cowboys to do bad. B, I think that the Colts are fighting for more. Like, I think they want to get that playoff spots. And C, I think they have the best player on the field in Andrew Luck.
Yep.
So.
The Colts are definitely gonna do what they can to win. The Cowboys, they're on a unreal win streak, like literally unreal. It's gonna end.
Yeah, they're due for a
fucking game
choke.
now. They're evenly matched teams, but Andrew Luck's obviously better than Dak Prescott.
So you picking
Colts.
Colts. All right.
Luck's left nut is better than Prescott.
Hey, Prescott's still going to get paid. Calling it.
I hope so.
That game against the Phillies, or not the Phillies. God damn it, Lucas. The Philadelphia Eagles literally got him a probably $80 million.
And he still barely won that
I
game.
literally fucking hope so.
Like
I hope he gets
the mixture of fucking the Saints game and this game just got him paid.
I hope he's the highest paid quarterback by the end of the season.
Could you imagine? I don't think they're gonna do that.
I hope he is. I want
they
him
aren't.
to be
They're not
paid.
going to.
He's so good. He needs the money, Jerry.
All right. Next one is Seattle at San Francisco. We all know I'm going with the team, the Seattle Seahawks.
Anybody is going to pick the Seahawks because 49ers had a fluke game last week. It's never going to happen again. Seahawks are also on a great win streak.
Kittle's breaking this record this game.
No, he's not.
Seahawks clinch a playoff berth with a win this week. I think they get it.
And they're going to play their asses off for it. Maybe Russell Wilson will throw more than 100 yards.
No, I think the Seahawks are going to have over 250 rushing yards.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's fine as long as they win games.
They're going to win.
All right, next one. New England
Patriots.
at Pittsburgh.
You know what?
Lucas, I'm already picking Pittsburgh, so
Hold
I
on,
don't feel
I'm
like you need.
aggressively putting down this bottle.
I'm picking Pittsburgh, so you don't have to pick the hometown if you don't want to. One of
No,
us
I'm
will still be
picking
a homer.
Pittsburgh. I'm going to tell you why. All right. They always lose to the Patriots, obviously, as we just went over. The Steelers are playing terribly, as we just went over. The coaches are a joke. But I don't think they're going to lose again. They've lost some really bad games the last few weeks. I think they are finally going to snap it against the embarrassed Tom Brady and the Patriots. Gronkowski's not at 100%.
That's where you're wrong, my friend.
I'm trying to be serious for this take. Steelers.
Chance.
All right. Gronkowski is the healthiest he's been all season.
He just probably blew out one of his knees.
He had his best game offensively last week.
The fucking lateral movement, dude.
Hey,
He couldn't do it.
I told you he gave it up because it was a 69-yard touchdown. Gronk is real. He's all about those weird.
How does he score touchdowns? He moves like a mile an hour.
Dude, he's huge. Like he's got a bionic arm. He just stiff arms people with that thing. It's a weapon.
Holy fuck, I'm crying.
But no, the Steelers are gonna lose. They're gonna put a linebacker on good old fucking Gronk or Morgan Burnett, who's awful. One of those guys is gonna be covering him, and it ain't gonna work. The Steelers, James Conner isn't cleared yet, so they're probably not going to have a running game again. Even if he does get cleared, they're the 30th in the NFL in run anyways. Boswell's still going to be on the fucking team. My bold prediction is it's a close game at halftime. Second half, Steelers are going to get the ball. They're going to drive down the field. Boswell is going to miss a field goal, and all the momentum is going to leave the building. People are going to boo and throw shit on the field. It's going to be bad. This is the game right here. If the Steelers lose this game, I think Mike Tomlin loses all the fan base. The people who stand up for him, they're fucking gone after this.
I'm actually picking the Patriots.
You're picking the Patriots.
Yeah. Like the more I think about it, the Patriots are almost 100% healthy. Steelers are missing a lot of players.
By the fourth quarter, the stadium's going to be empty.
All right.
And like we said, the Patriots had that awful game in Miami, and the Steelers are just what they need to wake back up.
So this is what's going to happen. This is my prediction. We are either going to. So what? Right now, if the Ravens win out, do they get the playoff spot? I mean, what has to happen for them to win?
So we have to. The Steelers have to win 2 games to win the division because we have a half game above them with a tie.
Okay.
We have a tie. They have a loss.
So this is what's going to happen, is that Pittsburgh's going to win this game against New England. Okay, we're going to be running high and mighty. All right, we're going to go down to New Orleans. We're going to have a close game, but still lose. And then we're all going to be thinking, against Cincinnati, we got this. It's ours. And guess what's going to happen? We're going to get blown out by the fucking Bengals.
Oh, the Steelers are losing the next 3 games. They're definitely losing to the Saints at New Orleans, and they're definitely losing to the Patriots. And Marvin Lewis's last game in Cincinnati will be that final game against Pittsburgh. Don't you think he wants to ruin the team's playoff hopes against the team that's ruined his fucking career for the last 20 years?
The only plus side is that Hugh Jackson will get fired after the Steelers game twice in the same season.
Hugh Jackson's about to become the next head coach of
well, maybe he'll get
Cincinnati
fired and promoted.
Bengals.
Wouldn't that be something? All right, next game on a Sunday night is the Philadelphia Eagles at the Rams.
Hold on, Lucas. Before you say anything, let me break some breaking news. Carson Wentz will not play Sunday. It will be a Big Dick Nick, potentially starting for the rest of the season for the fucking Eagles. And you know what Big Dick Nick did last year?
He wins.
He won the fucking Super Bowl MVP. I think that Big Dick Nick is gonna lead the fucking Eagles to a playoff spot. I think the Eagles are gonna win the division with Big Dick Nick.
Nice take.
Going with the Eagles.
I'm going to pick Eagles as well. The Rams are coming off an embarrassing loss in Chicago. Be it Chicago's a really good team, but I think they're still flustered that they're not like the greatest team in the league anymore. They're not undefeated. Big Dick Nick's coming in, slapping Goff's face.
He's slapping that kielbasa he has in his pants.
Hey, you know who's gonna bitch slap Big Dick Nick? Aaron Darnold. He's gonna bitch slap him into tomorrow. He's gonna take that big dick, hit him with it. All right. The Rams are gonna win this.
I don't even think Aaron Donald could eat that kielbasa on Big Dick Nick.
I didn't say he was eating it. I'm just saying he's gonna slap him with it.
I mean, Aaron Donald's a big guy. He could probably eat a lot. I don't think he could eat Big
Fair
Dick's kielbasa.
No, I think the Rams are gonna win. I think the mixture is that it was a cold day up in Chicago. It's in illustrious Los Angeles. So, but how funny would it be if the team wins out under Nick Foles, gets to the playoffs, and makes another deep run?
I mean, at that point, you have to trade Carson Wentz.
I don't think you can. Because you want to know why? The second you rely on Nick Foles
he's just gonna
to
fuck
be
up.
your starting quarterback.
And then fucking Wentz will go win a Super Bowl with wherever he leaves.
Exactly. Wentz will turn back into Wentz last year.
That would be the most Philly thing ever, so I hope it happens.
Listen, maybe Steelers, Eagles trade.
I would take Nick Foles, or not Nick Foles,
Dump
Carson Wentz.
Oh, for
AB.
sure.
Dump AB, get Carson Wentz. Then we
Carson
have
Wentz and Juju.
then we have a duo of Ben Roethlisberger, Carson Wentz, double quarterback back in the
AB in a second for Nick Foles, or Carson Wentz in a first. I would take that.
So, all right. The last game on a Monday night is the Saints at Carolina. Are we all going to New Orleans on this
Yep.
one?
Yeah, Cam Newton's playing hurt. They just need to put that
They're just embarrassed.
fucking dude on IR. He can't throw the ball 20 yards, and it shows. Christian McCaffrey has literally been carrying the Panthers' jock in this losing streak, and fucking I think the Saints win.
All right. So we'll see some hot takes. We're getting almost down to the Super Bowl or the
Super Bowl
picks.
52 is 53 days away today, I think.
I'll be in Miami for that Super Bowl. I might have to call
serious?
in.
Are you actually gonna be in Miami?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do if one of us goes on vacation? Because I'm going on a cruise also.
I was
What the
thinking I could like call in somehow.
I mean, I'll have a sick
on
new
Skype.
PC now, so we can Skype.
I mean, I literally thought if you guys want to come to my house and like record, I will fully
we're
fully
gonna
allow
do
you to
it.
come down here and record with all this shit.
We
So.
can. I mean, that's when we'll bring in a guest.
Oh, there you go. That'd be a good thing. Good
It's a
thing.
good idea.
Yeah, we
So.
can bring somebody to fill in for you.
Fair enough. Wow, Chance.
Won't be-
You're
won't be
supposed to say
hard.
no. You're supposed to say no one can ever replace me.
Well, no one
Assholes.
can, but
Assholes. All right. Well, let's go to Lucas where he can talk a little bit of some NHL news for us.
All
some
right.
pucks and sticks.
Get
and
away from the
ice.
shitty sport. Go to a real man sport like hockey.
Yeah.
All right.
Man sport.
Not too much going
Labatt
on.
Blue, Molson,
Maple syrup,
Yingling,
You done?
free health care,
Coors Light,
All right.
legalized
Pancakes.
weed.
Not too much going on around the league.
Lumberjacks.
We have our first 50-point player is Mikko Rantanen of the Colorado Avalanche. I talked about this guy a couple of pods ago.
Is
He's
he
an
Finnish?
absolute freak.
Is he Finnish?
I don't know. But
I bet he's Finnish. He sounds Finnish. Look it up,
he
Lucas.
is Finnish. You're right.
I'm a
Chance is
fucking.
the goat.
Chance.
Well, look at that.
What was I gonna say? You fucking made me lose my.
Hear
point.
that, Stephen A? I'm not a racist. I know my races. Finns. I like.
The Penguins, they're like I mentioned earlier, they're doing great. Matt Murray's off of IR. Casey DeSmith is still starting. DeSmith is doing surprisingly well lately.
Oh, dude, he's carried the team in my
Yeah,
opinion.
Crosby's playing. He's having a great year again, but nobody else is doing much.
No,
That's
no.
the problem. Jen Gensel's having a good season, but I'm not worried about them. I think people are over their November slump that they had because that was only in November, and there's still plenty more months to go.
It's a dad trip. I think they're gonna do good on this.
Second day on dad trip. They're at Chicago tonight at filming, so we'll be celebrating a win next podcast.
That's what I like to hear. A little bit of news going on in the NBA. The Lakers are probably going to acquire Trevor Ariza here from the Suns.
Isn't he a comedian?
Trevor Ariza?
Sounds like a comedian's name.
He's a good 3-point shooter there, Lucas.
3 and
That's
D.
no joke.
He's exactly what the Lakers need.
Except they're going to trade KCP. My guess is going to be KCP to the Rockets. The Rockets send a player to the Suns, and then the Lakers will then get Trevor Ariza. So we're curious to see that. And the Lakers are actually a game and a half out of the number 1 seed.
That's nuts. I've been watching a lot of the games because they're late at night.
Same as all the other teams in the West. The West is like from like 1 to 6 is or like 1 to 12.
Everybody
is like separated by like 4 games.
Everybody but Houston.
Everyone but Houston, Jazz, and the Suns. Which also, speaking of horrible teams, so the Chicago Bulls, the great franchise they are, they recently fired their head coach, Fred Hoiberg.
Didn't they lose 60 points by the Celtics?
So, yes. So, they lost 60 points to the Celtics, which is a record. It was 58 points, but it was a record-setting for a home loss. Afterwards, they have a new head coach, and he made them run suicides like they were high schoolers. Apparently, the players were so upset that they texted one another debating whether or not they should go to practice the next game or the next day. It then got to the point where it was so bad that the players then had to go to the Player Association and complain about how the way they're being treated, that they have to practice after back-to-backs and so on and so forth. And I just think it's funny because it makes the Chicago Bulls look like such babies because they're all younger players, dude, and it looks horrible. Like you're getting paid millions of dollars, and you got embarrassed like that, and you're upset because the coach is making you like do push-ups and run suicides and stuff. Like you deserve to be.
I think the
league.
NBA players are literally the most dramatic athletes on the planet.
Maybe behind soccer.
Like I don't know, dude.
No, it's close.
Definitely in America, it's
Yeah.
every week it's some drama, whether it's KD or Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler. You know, there's always drama, and I guess NBA fans love that shit. They just feast on it.
So here's the situation that I think is what's going to be happening here, is that with NBA contracts, they're all guaranteed, and all this type of stuff. And like the number 1 overall pick, you get paid $10 million the next year. Your first year, you get paid $10 million. Okay?
So Markelle Fultz is making $10 million.
Yes.
And
Guaranteed.
the dude can't even make a free throw.
He's not even playing.
I could have a better free throw percentage in the
give me
NBA than
10
that
mil.
guy.
Give me 1 mil.
So I think what was happening is all these young players don't care about winning as much anymore because they're like, shit, I made my millions. I don't have to worry about this. And so from there on out, they're now winning. Or no, they're not winning. They're losing because they have all their money. Same thing that happened in the Timberwolves. They had Jimmy Butler, a guy who wanted to win because he didn't have one of those illustrious contracts until recently. And then you have someone like Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins who are just pussies. And, so.
Pussies.
Basketball
is a pussy sport. Go play a man sport like hockey, according to
Literally anything else. Play tennis.
Play golf. I think golf's more manly than.
I love golf.
Damn, you guys are harsh. But
you get to drink beer on the golf course. That's a manly sport.
Can't beat it.
Recent news in Pittsburgh.
Recent.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have announced a partnership or some sort of deal.
It's a sponsorship.
A sponsorship of a new esports team. That's right, the Pittsburgh Knights.
This is groundbreaking. This is the first time a
Huge.
professional sports team has sponsored an esports team.
So now the Pittsburgh Knights, they are an esports teams that have teams in Call of Duty, Super Smash Bros, PUBG, Hearthstone, Fortnite, Gwent, and a stream team so far as of now. So I just think it's pretty cool that Pittsburgh now has an esports team. I don't know exactly what that entails because esports is kind of a new thing, but I still think it's really awesome. And it's cool, and hopefully they get an Overwatch team, a.k.a. Trash Deer. Trash Deer does Overwatch.
Yeah, we're free agents. We're out there for the
If
pickup.
anyone's listening, we're available.
Lucas will only spam the thank you.
Bro, I was dying
Couple
when
of-
he said that earlier.
Because it was so funny. You know
It's
what's
so
funny?
true.
I was going to spam thank you, and in the thing, I was just going to start saying thanks.
I get so fucking mad.
Dude,
So.
it's great, dude. You're losing a
I'm
game.
passionate. That's
You're losing
it.
a game, and you're no longer receiving heals because Lucas is sitting in the spawn
All right.
point.
It's never during game.
No, it's always at the end. But
The
I
end,
always
there's no
die,
chance
and
of
then I'll
winning.
respawn to see Lucas sitting there spamming thank you. I just run past, don't
Dancing
say
with
anything.
my
fuck
diva
'em.
emotes.
That's great.
So, Chance, what do you think about the esports team?
No, I like it. Esports is literally a growing market, and I listen to a lot of other podcasts and radio shows. For instance, Will Kane, he's an ESPN not a reporter. I guess he's like a
Personality.
radio person. He talked about esports on a show the other day, and he's against it. He doesn't understand why people watch people play video games, and that's just the generation that he grew up in. They didn't have that shit. They had Pong, and they finger blasted each other's assholes in the bathroom.
Hot.
Nowadays, kids grow up with video games. I can't tell you anybody who doesn't play or hasn't played a video game, literally ever. They're fun, and I guess you don't have to pay as much. You don't have to pay the athletes as much, and people still watch. They get millions of views, especially the big games like Overwatch, Call of Duty, Dota, Fortnite. Those games, they get millions of views and sponsorships and advertisements. It's crazy.
Just think about all the kids, like all the millions of kids who are playing Fortnite right now. At some point, Fortnite will die.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then what are those kids going to then do with their
They're just going to move on to the next popular game.
And so my thing is that it's growing into this thing where eventually we're going to be old heads, and we're going to be like, oh, yeah, we remember back whenever we played Halo. And they're going to be like, I don't even know what the fuck Halo is. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And so all these kids with how big Twitch is getting and how big video games are getting, I think it's just going to prove that more and more of this stuff is going to be viable. Because if you think about it, it's just a business. That's all it is. It's a business. It's can they make money off advertisements for this? And the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers are sponsoring them just shows that how much money and stuff like that.
Esports is cool because unlike regular sports that you watch on TV, esports is something that anybody can get into. Like you can watch someone play a game and then you can go and yourself play that game. Whereas, some people can't play certain sports, whether it's physical disability or just like without talent, like you have no talent for the sport. But esports is cool because anyone can just pick up a game and play casually, competitive. It doesn't matter.
You can look like someone like LeBron James, and none of us are ever going to
never.
You know what I mean?
None of us will ever be in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly.
But we can play NBA 2K18 and experience that as close as we can experience.
And there's an esports team for the 2K. I mean, not for Pittsburgh, but there's actually a legit NBA sponsored league, 2K league.
Which is
so.
Sick.
I just think it's one of those things where it's if you love, even on the sports side, if you love sports, you can play Madden, you can play 2K, you can play FIFA, and you can feel like you're playing the game.
Exactly.
And same with other things. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, it's just you can experience stuff through that, which whether it's legit experience or not. But I mean, all of us have personal stories we can tell about how great games were and how much you remember certain ones. You know what I mean?
If you play video games and you don't say they haven't changed your life, then I don't think you've played the right games or that you played with the right people.
Lucas, what was the last video game you played that changed your life?
I'm playing Fortnite as we speak right now.
Are you really playing Fortnite? Are you really playing Fortnite on my Switch? Get the fuck out of here.
The last game that I played changed my life was definitely, I'm going to say PUBG, but I want to talk about Overwatch because I think it impacted my life the most because that's what we started playing 2 years ago.
I'd say about 2 or 3 years ago.
But
you think
before that,
I feel like it was a year and a half.
I think it was 2 years ago. I think it was 2016.
Definitely when Overwatch first came out.
Winter of 16, maybe.
I can't look at the seasons. Okay, continue.
But anyway, before that, we weren't friends. Like me and Chance definitely weren't friends.
We're not friends now, Lucas.
Okay, whatever. We weren't coworkers.
Yeah, I think up until I started playing Overwatch with you guys, I never talked to Lucas much in high school or anything.
Ever. And me and Tyler, we were
we were friends, but it was more
That's,
friends through friends kind of deal.
And through Mike Cook Madman, the movies and shit.
And through Evan and stuff like that.
Same with Pinto and Minnick. We were never that much of friends, but as soon as we started playing Overwatch, I think it definitely bonded us as friends, and I think it just changed because it gave me something to do, something to look forward to, something.
It gets the kids off the streets, bro.
It stops kids from doing drugs.
I mean, if that's what you two are gonna say.
No, but
Lucas, what were you doing last night?
It's seriously.
What were you doing last night?
No, it's nice having. It's a great way to make friends and keep friends and have something to talk about, and it's just. Video games are the greatest things ever made.
Yeah, I think video games they're a fun escape from reality. You have a stressful day, work, school, whatever. You can just go home and brag on a video game. Occasionally you'll get pissed off at it too, but that's just life. You get pissed off at everything. Nothing's fucking perfect. But video games, I've learned a lot of shit history-wise through video games. Some games like Call of Duty and shit, historically accurate games. They helped me in school. I didn't fucking know who certain president, I think was it 16th president of the United States was. I learned who that was.
Who is it?
It's USS Grant. I learned that by playing Fallout 76 a couple weeks ago. It was part of the
There
lesson.
you go.
So that's something cool. But it also teaches good hand-eye coordination. I can drive and eat and shit. I can do.
I can text and drive.
Yeah, I
now
can
because
do all kinds of
video
shit because I've learned to multitask while playing games. Literally, I drive with my legs and eat burgers with one hand and my drink with the other hand.
But like even like the shit.
What hand
like
do you beat your
side,
dick with?
I suck it with my mouth. I
Wow.
suck.
Like even like the jokes aside, like it literally makes you smarter.
Oh, it
and
does.
makes your coordination better.
It does. I can text without looking because I've memorized where the keys were, and it's improved my fucking keyboarding skills for sure. I don't know. It just teaches a lot of skills that like you just wouldn't learn otherwise.
Like I said, I look at video games more of as a social thing more than anything. And I know people think like, oh, you're playing video games, like you're not doing anything, like you're not talking to anybody, you're just playing by yourself. But I mean, I think that's a total opposite because like what Luke was saying is, it's. I mean, whenever I was in college, it was just like, that was what we did. We would just go and then we'd hang out.
to
And
look forward to.
Fun fact: this podcast was kind of formed through video games.
that is
We-
100% true.
Before this podcast, we talk about this shit almost every night, and then one night we were just like, "Hey, why don't we start
Let's
a
just
podcast?"
fucking do it. Let's just buy some microphones and let's do it.
Fuck it, and here we are, 17 weeks later.
17 episodes in. How many views, Lucas?
Last time I checked, over 500.
500.
I think probably over 600 now.
That-
No, I don't think we're over
If you
600.
divide 500 by 17, how many views is
No,
that?
you don't want to know. You don't want to know.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's more than I can do in my head through simple math.
But no, I mean, all kidding aside, it's just, video games has definitely brought us closer as a friend group, I would say. And, I just think this is cool because this kind of shows more of a normality for it, that it's not like a nerdy thing or anything like that.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
don't
like
have
a
the
normal-
urge to go and kill anybody. I can just get on Overwatch and fucking ruin someone else's night by beating the shit out of them virtually.
I don't know. I heard what you said about Tomlin. Chance.
That don't get me started again.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about to wrap this up here is Smash came out over on Friday. I got to play it a bit. It is really good. I know a lot of people are bitching about how that you have to unlock characters, and that's kind of a pain in the ass. But
That was with every Smash, though.
well, it's different because all the other Smashes didn't have like 81 characters or
True,
84
true.
characters.
I think that's sick, though.
So like, I'm not a professional Smash player. I'm not good at Smash. I'm not good at fighting games in general. So I actually kind of like being able to slowly build my way up. So you get to do the light mode or the story mode or the spirit mode. That's what it is. And it's pretty much like an RPG where you get a character and you get to go around and you just fight other people and you get kind of stronger and stronger spirits, which is pretty much how you power up. And the game starts out in your Kirby, and Kirby is a very, very easy character to learn. And it actually, like, I was like, oh, Kirby's pretty cool. Like, I can't wait to learn Kirby. And it was funny because, like, she has is Kirby a he or she?
I think it's an it.
Oh, yeah, I think
Okay.
that's-
You don't want to get
Did you just
those
assume
people.
it's gender?
Yeah, what are you doing,
no.
bro?
2018.
No, I asked if it was a he or a she. Anyway, it has this sweet thing where, like, it pulls out, like, this giant mallet and you can just hit people off the side home run style. And so, like, I did that for a while, and then, like, I unlocked, I think it was Fox I unlocked. Or no, it was Link. So then I used Link for a couple times, and then I unlocked Lucario, and it's just been game over since I unlocked Lucario. But it's so cool because it's like, I'm learning how this character is, and I'm getting better and better every time I play.
Now, does the campaign force you to play certain characters, or can you just pick whatever you want?
Well, so yes and no. Like, it forces you to play Kirby at first, and then you can unlock more. Then you unlock Mario, and
But
then
once you've unlocked like 2 characters, you can pick whatever one.
you can
want.
pick either one of that you want to.
okay.
So it's not like you're forced into picking one thing, and so that's kind of where it's nice because like they made like these spirits kind of how you level up and how powerful your character is. But like I like it. I don't have a problem, but I'm also not like a hardcore Smash fanatic where it's like, oh man, I just need to unlock all the characters and play. But at the same time, like I also don't like if I had a main character and I didn't have it unlocked, I'd be so pissed. Like if I played. I don't know if I played like last night I unlocked the Wii Yoga or the Wii Fit Trainer.
Christ.
So if I mained the Wii Fit Trainer and I had to play the game for like 10 hours before I unlocked it, I'd probably be pretty pissed, But other than that, it's still pretty cool. I know the online's kind of trash from what I've heard. I haven't played online. I have no intention to play online. And you can also kind of work around the limit. So normally, no matter what mode you play, except for online and training, you will eventually, like, once you go back to the main menu, a challenger will appear, and that's how you unlock characters. And I know people have been kind of glitching it where it's like, if you play for like an hour, and then or if you play for 10 minutes, stop, close the game, pull it back up, then a new challenger will appear. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, you can kind of force the game into, like, just kind of tricking it. So, but, I mean, I've had a lot of fun with it. I can't wait to keep playing it.
You played past Smashes, haven't you?
Very loosely. Like I'm nowhere.
But you played them, right?
Yeah, I've played some.
Would you say this is the best Smash out of all of them?
See, like I don't feel like I'm able to make that call.
Authorized.
Yeah, like, but it is ultimate. Like, there's every character.
It's all the old maps too, isn't it? Because I saw some gameplay. I was watching Twitch earlier today, and they had like the old DK map with like the floating barrels and shit from like Smash 64, which was sick. Because that was my favorite Smash.
Yeah, and so it's like they have like all the old stuff and all these characters and stuff. And the other cool thing is you can have 8 people on one console play. So you can have 8 people all on one TV trying to play, which would just be a fucking shit show. But like I don't know, like I think it's cool and stuff. I haven't got to play it with one Joy-Con. I've only ever played it with my controller that I have. And I tried to play it in handheld mode, and it sucks. It sucks trying to play it in handheld mode. So if you're going to get it, I would definitely recommend going. You can buy, like, for $30, you can buy a wired...
Pro controller.
Wired Pro controller, and you can also buy a wired GameCube controller that they, like, ported over. Or if you spend an extra $20, which I would recommend, get the wireless one. Because it works just like a Pro controller, but it's the GameCube. And you can actually play other games. Like, it's not just for Smash. Like, I was watching someone play Zelda with a GameCube controller. So I think that's pretty cool. So, yeah, like some things, like I would not recommend it in handheld. I would definitely try to get a controller or something like that. But it's still a lot of fun. I'm sure maybe New Year's, me and you guys will play Smash.
I'm definitely down to have a tournament here New Year's. Little drunk
We'll be
tournament.
smashed and we'll play Smash.
You lose, you take a shot.
Mario Party.
Oh, yeah.
That drunk Mario Party's fun, Lucas.
Yeah,
you were winning that game.
Yeah,
bro.
99%. Then I lost all my stars in the last second.
Hey,
never hated life
hey,
more
man,
than
Boo
that.
fucked you. That's what happens.
Joke.
Listen, the worst
I
thing.
think it was Jim.
When do you think they're gonna add Mike Tomlin to a Smash roster?
As soon as he gets fired from the Steelers. So
Actually,
never.
there is talks about maybe Banjo-Kazooie and possibly Master Chief making an appearance in Smash.
Master Chief be sick.
That'd be sick.
Could you imagine playing as Master Chief in Smash?
That'd be sick.
Or even Banjo-Kazooie. Like, I'm a Banjo-Kazooie fan. Like, that would be fucking sweet.
I mean, they might as well. Fuck it.
I think it's something to do with the one character that they just announced, Joker, as like a Microsoft thing or something like that. Or it's another company, so everyone's like, oh, Nintendo and Microsoft have been playing nice. Maybe they'll put Master Chief. Which that would sell. If they put a Master Chief DLC, even if it was $20, I would probably buy it. Because that would be fucking sick.
Well, I think they said all the DLC would be like, what is it?
Like $5.
$5 for a character and a map, and then it's like 20 for like everything.
It's like 20 for like the season pass or whatever. So.
Which isn't too bad.
No, I mean if
You're
you
looking at
really like Smash,
Yeah.
then yeah, it's kind of worth it. But
I
like
like
said,
smashing.
you're a Smash fan.
I love Smash.
Have you and Tina smashed yet?
All right, so that'd be about it for this
We'll take that
podcast.
awkward no as a no.
That'd be a need to know basis on that one.
Oh,
Between-
we need to know.
Between me, you, and the listeners. You gotta check out our Twitter for the answer. That's what it is. You gotta
yeah.
follow the Twitter
Get us up
At-
to 10,000 views. We'll tell you.
at Trash Deer Sports.
10,000 views, and Tyler will do a Chatterbait stream.
Yes. And if you go,
Alright.
if you just go up to 500, Chance will do it.
Actually, if we hit 1 million, we'll all just do a live Chatterbait podcast.
Of all 3 of us,
Of all three, we'll just sit here.
that would not be awkward.
It'll be great.
For a
Fucking-
million views, I'm down.
For an
Great.
hour and a half sitting here, just
We'll get some crab legs in here.
Some buttery W's.
All right. So on that one, we will see you guys on the next one. Wait. I forgot. Make sure you check us out on Twitter at Trash Deer Sports. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment.
Google Play. Spotify.
Google Play,
Send us
Spotify.
money. We're running out of funds.
Please.
Don't send us money.
Please.
Also, next week, I think we're going to be doing a little bit of a Christmas special.
Yay.
So Lucas is not excited about it. Because
No,
Lucas is a Grinch.
Lucas is a fucking Scrooge.
I
Lucas-
am.
You're going to fucking love your gift.
I'm sure I will, because you're a great friend.
You're gonna
Hell
love
yeah.
the gifts I got you guys. They're gonna be fucking sick.
Okay.
They're-
It's just a big deal.
You're gonna fucking love them.
Okay.
Emphasis on fucking.
Fucking love them.
Fuck and then love.
Literally fucking love them.
All right, guys. Until the next time, we'll catch you then.
See ya.
Ni hao.